Welcome to the Manuchehri podcast. Over the last 30 years, it has been my joy to assist humanity in aligning with their magnificence so they may heal, discover their natural gifts, and communicate with loved ones living on the other side. May you also experience delight while we dance in the powerful, intuitive world of energy. Let's get going. Welcome to our Energy Meets the Divine. I'm so happy we get to come together again to nurture, fall in love with each other and ourselves, one of the most important aspects we could ever have, and to learn. So today, before I go to the phone lines, I want to talk about what's happening in the cosmos right now. It's extremely powerful. And some of what's happening hasn't happened in a very, very long time, or even ever before, at least for all the people who are currently living on Earth. Many things that are happening astrologically have never happened in your lifetime and may not happen again in your lifetime. So in saying all of that, we are here on March 12th, 2025 in beautiful, amazing, powerful eclipse energy. We will have the first eclipse for 2025 on the 14th of March in Virgo. And Virgo is the sign of the healer. So it's a really appropriate and wonderful opportunity to merge into healing energy for yourself, for others. It's a time to be quiet, to rest. Eclipse times are not a time for massive activity. They're a time, again, to rest and take good care of yourself, to eat well, always during eclipse. If you have a corporate job and everyone's taking Friday off, take it off, go rest. If you normally are someone who has lists of things to do and you're out and about driving and taking care of those things, don't. Just go ahead and take a nap, go for a walk, make delicious food for yourself, go to bed early. Eclipse time is very, very powerful. There's a lot happening internally. Your microcosmic world is changing because we get about 400 tons of stardust that lands on Earth every single year. So we are part of the cosmos. You came from the multisensory universe. And so during an eclipse time, because it's a wild card, meaning anything can change, because the eclipse is a wild card, anything can change. And this is a full moon, blood full moon lunar eclipse, as I said, in Virgo. And full moons have a lot to do with letting go and surrendering and getting out of the way. But either way, whether you're having a solar eclipse or a lunar eclipse, something could be eclipsed into your life and something could be eclipsed out of your life. Just like that. You could wake up one day and have a completely different belief system and perception about yourself, about the people in your life, and it will be positive. When eclipses are happening, one of the reasons why people need to rest, because there's some sort of disruption occurring. The eclipse is shining light into the darkness of something that's important for you, or it would not be shining light into it. So things can be a little jarring or surprising. Even great things can be surprising for people. Humans have a hard time with unconditional love and having financial freedom and having their life purpose or all their purposes explored and illuminated for them. People have a hard time with that. Don't ask me why. Even a healthy body, people have a hard time with that. So something's happening in your life because no one escapes an eclipse and they come in pairs. So there's one happening on the 14th, which means we're in it. We are in it in the sign of Virgo. And then on March 29th, the pair of the first eclipse will be happening in Pisces. And Pisces is very interesting right now. It's been in visiting the planet Neptune, or Neptune's been in Pisces for 14 years. And the day after the eclipse, which is still eclipse energy, Neptune will be moving into Aries. But prior to that, a bunch of planets are going to be in Pisces. So Saturn eventually is going to be moving into Pisces very quickly for, I believe, 30 months, something of that nature. But the sun, Rahu, Venus are all in Pisces as we're having this Pisces eclipse, which is really quite amazing. And remember, Pisces is very psychic, and Neptune has been in Pisces. Now it's moving into Aries. And so it's been in Pisces for 14 years. You've had a belief system, a certain belief system for the last 14 years that you've been working on, because that's what Neptune does. It helps us to change our perceptions, our viewpoints. Sometimes for the best, and sometimes not so much, because a lot of people don't do inner work. They don't have self-awareness. So the negative aspect of Pisces has to do with occults or following people and believing in people instead of yourself, which is always incredibly important. Now that Neptune's moving into Aries, that's going to encourage people to listen to themselves, to believe in themselves, to honor themselves, to not be so self-critical. Right? So a very exciting time. And then the big kicker of eclipse energy, my favorite part of eclipse, and that's why it's so important to rest and, don't take a lot of action. Don't go off the rails during eclipse time. You really want to rest. You may change your mind after the eclipse is over with, because it's kind of a unstable energy. It can be confusing because you're learning some light is being shown into a corner of your psyche that you've never seen before, or that it's been centuries, or maybe in your childhood you had some awareness of something and now it's being validated for you. So it's a very surprising, kind of unsettling, even if it's something from your perception very positive, it can be jarring. And at the same time, what allows this thing to be highlighted for you is that the veil is very thin during eclipse time, very thin, which makes you more intuitive, more psychic, more aware. You could have visitations from your loved ones. They're always visiting, but you could have an awareness of this visitation. You could be calibrating your subatomic particles to allow you to be more psychic, because everything's about energy. Everything's about energy. And again, this is why you want to meditate, take naps, go for walks in the park, just really chill. If you can, take some time off from work, sleep in on the weekend, really just take really good, slow, wonderful care of your body. You don't want to be aggressive with your energy during eclipse time. It's not in your best interest. Very exciting. And now we're going to go to the phone lines and listen to beautiful messages. I think something that would be really fun to pay attention to during this eclipse cycle, because this first eclipse is in Virgo, the sign of the healer. How many people have spontaneous or amazing healings in their life, which will probably be fully measured within the next 6 months? Something to pay attention to, something that sounds really exciting to get curious about in your life.
Hi, beautiful Marie. It's something so nurturing to hear your voice, especially because when you talk in the podcast, I feel like you are talking to me directly. So thank you for all you do. Anyway, my name is Maria, originally from Mexico. I was born into a very traditional family, which was a bit challenging because being an empath, I was always told that I was too sensitive or too weird. Especially because instead of socializing, I preferred to spend time volunteering in different organizations. Anyway, I am 52. I've been married for 30 years to a wonderful man, and I have 2 wonderful kids and 2 dogs. I have been a yoga teacher for 25 years and to a lesser degree, a Reiki practitioner. So my question today is regarding a client that I had a few years ago. This client suffered an overdose that made him paraplegic and with a brain injury. So the first time I met this individual, it was almost like an intense shock, as if I knew this person from before. And when I left the session, I couldn't stop crying.
Aww.
So obviously, as an empath, I tried helping him as much as I could, to a point where I was exhausted. And then I decided to distance myself. So my question is, if there is any message or insight about this connection. I haven't seen this person for over a year. Part of me feels happy and safe, but part of me feels like this is unfinished, that there is still something here to learn or a mission that I have with him.
Nope.
So I would really appreciate and thank you for your advance guidance. God bless you. Bye.
Thank you, Maria. I appreciate your question. Healers are naturally attracted to wounded people. And partially that's because healers can see the beauty in everyone. They can see the magnificence in everyone. They have this great ability to see the truth and the potential of an individual. That's why it's important that healers, when it comes to their personal life, don't get caught up in their professional experience so that they choose people who are really balanced and equal for them in relationships. But the real reason why this happened for you is so that you would learn to stay away from your heart chakra. You're always going to be an empath. Always going to be empath. That means you're always going to be compassionate. You're always going to care. You're always going to want to help. But when you're in your heart chakra, worried about someone or trying to help them from a place of worry, fear, responsibility, which a lot of empathic people live their whole life feeling responsible for everything that happens on the planet. Even if they don't live in certain parts of the world, they still feel innately responsible for whatever might be happening to any region of the world. It's fascinating. So I think it's important for empathic people to rest outside of their heart chakra. Their heart chakra has been overstimulated. It needs a vacation. I know a lot of spiritualists say people need to get into their chest. Younger souls, of course, they're the ones learning compassion. That's not you. So I think this man brought a pinnacle lessons for you. I think this man brought a profound lesson for you that it's okay for you to step back because you felt happier. Real joy is the answer to what's going on. So if something's weird in one's life and someone can feel joy, like in this case, not working with him brought you joy, that's the right path for you. You don't owe this person anything. They don't owe you anything. You did the very best you could, actually. You worked very hard. You did a wonderful job. And it's just better for you to not be in this place where you're giving all the time. Because when I sense this individual for all logical reasons, there's a lot of victimization. And victimization is sometimes challenging to tweak or change within ourselves or within others. It's kind of a hard pattern. So I think you were meant to learn to do exactly what you did do. And now your job is to continually not feel guilty about it or that you did something wrong. I don't even think you know this gentleman from a past life. I could be wrong, but I think he has a pattern of something that you've known in the past. They've devoted your previous lifetimes towards helping people kind of stuck in some energy that's not helping them. And I can't imagine how hard it would be to move from victimization under the circumstances of what he's experienced so far. That would be challenging. It would be difficult. So that's what I think about that. Really good question. Thank you.
Hey Marie, my name is Charlotte and I'm from Vancouver, Canada. I have 2 questions for you today. My first question is, what is the most effective way to send someone energetic love? And my second question is, can you sense what might be the best way for me to show myself more self-compassion? I'm looking forward to your response, and thank you so much for taking the time to help me out.
You're very welcome, Charlotte. Thank you for your great question. Of course, being in this eclipse energy with the sign of Virgo, Virgos can be highly self-critical. They can be really hard on themselves. So this is a perfect time to move in the energy of what Virgo really wants, is to learn to be self-compassionate because they're the healer. They already care about others. They usually have great integrity. And of course, we all have Virgo in our charts somewhere. So we all have aspects of this beautiful sign. Self-nurturing, a lot of internal dialogue all day long, forever. Like, good job, honey. Or, wow, beautiful. I love what you just did. Or, thank you for doing that. Later on today, because I have a really busy day today, I'm going to walk Charles twice. I'm going to sneak it in somehow. And every time I get back from my walk, I'm going to go, good job, honey. Great job. The fact that I ate good food today and I've got some administrative things done, I'd have internal dialogue for myself, like, oh, good job. I'm proud of you. So if you could start to have internal dialogue like that, it's going to change the vibration in your body. It'll calibrate your subatomic particles to align with the way creation sees you, because creation sees everyone from this truth aspect of true mastery. And when we are kind to ourselves, we get closer and closer to aligning with the way creation sees us, which is powerful and wonderful in itself. So that's what I think. Giving unconditional love. Here's a fun way to look at it. Let's say that you want to give some love to someone and it really can't have any strings attached. So if you can't be really detached from why you want to love this person, you want to send them love, I would hold back, because when you have strings attached or some sort of motivation or manipulation, which I'm not saying you do, by the way, that's not unconditional love. So one of the ways you could do this that kind of bypasses anything that we might have a desire to have, even helping someone is a desire. In other words, we want to be in neutrality as much as possible. Unconditional love is very neutral. You could imagine that you're taking universal love from the heavens and wrapping it around someone. None of your emotions are involved. There's this lovely detachment from any need that you have, even to feel better because you sent love to someone. That's still an attachment. So I like to take subatomic particles from the universe and wrap it around someone, with bright light, and let the universe's unconditional, highly supportive love blanket them in their energy and give them what they need. I think that's a powerful way to love. Thank you.
Hello, Marie. My name is Marilyn Gardner. I am in Willits, California. But I'd like to know where my future is going. I've been in the insurance industry for too long. However, I'm good at it. My empathy is what I think does really well with my insurance when I'm dealing with them. Mm-hmm. So if my guides want me to stick with that to help more people, that's fine. I just need to know a good guideline. My husband wants to open up a RC business. So I need to know how, when we open up that RC business, how that's going to go. And if I should stick with what I'm doing now or just move to that so I can be a happier person. I do feel I'm becoming happier now, just learning myself, but I just need a good idea to bring the money in. Right now, we're very lacked. Okay. Please let me know whatever I need to know from my guides. And I think that's about it.
So Marilyn, what I think would be really important, not so much thinking about what's next and what career path should I take. I'm not saying that no energy should be placed in that direction, but we need you to get you to work on financial freedom. That's what you really need, so that no matter what you do, there is wealth coming in. And I think when people work on financial freedom and they start to have that, wealth come into their being, then they get attracted to all the creativity that is really meant to be in your life. I think spending a lot of time outside would be great for you. Like this summer, hike a lot, camp. Like your body wants to be outside in nature. It's actually really, really good for you. And when we go to places that are really good for us, we start to get more ahas and more impressions. It's easier for the universe to get into our awareness so that we can hear, see, and feel the communication that's occurring. So working on wealth, it is kind of a human issue. We're starting to get better at it, actually. I know looking at today's news, maybe people don't feel that way, but working on wealth is critical to establish financial freedom. So you have to think of something that makes you feel really, really happy. And it can't be another person because people disappoint us. So we can't focus on another person because somebody who we may have had a lot of fun with, all of a sudden it's not so much fun any longer. So that's not a good choice. Here's what I keep seeing for you. I keep seeing, as if I'm in the Northwest, which I am in the Northwest, I see like a beautiful leaf. Like maybe if I were walking at St. Edward's Park, it's this lovely state park that has, it's actually, you can have little hikes in there because there's nice elevation. And like there's a leaf attached to a tree and it's raining, but not hard raining. In the Northwest, we get a lot of light rain, a lot of mist. We can get downpours, but we have a lot of mist. And that's why you don't see Seattleites using umbrellas very often, because it's like just misty rain. So you're walking on the path where, even forget the walking part, but there's this beautiful leaf and there's rain hitting it. And it's, again, it's not a downpour. And the leaf is even filling up like a little pool of beautiful water. And then it's dripping off, right? I want you to look at that because I think that's going to make you happy. You might even smell the outdoors. You know how beautiful the ground can be after rain or during rain. And so before you connect with wealth, because I like that word better than money, before you grab your wallet, remove a card or cash, before you put your online password into banking, before you transfer funds, before you go to the mailbox and collect financial mail, before you open financial mail, I would love it if you think of this leaf and the water dripping down and the pooling of the leaf and water, running down from the leaf. It's a really gorgeous picture. It's simply gorgeous because if you are thinking about something that moves into a feeling of high frequency, and this is true for everyone, as you're engaging with wealth. So the whole time you're engaging with wealth, I want you to bring that image or that feeling into your body and vibrate to that picture that I just described, because you're changing your relationship with wealth when you're engaging with it and you're happy. That means you're attracting happiness in your wealth, happiness into your wealth, happiness into your wealth. That's what it means. And that's what you need, financial freedom. That's what I'd rather have you do. Focus on that before you make any changes. That's what I think. Okay.
Hi, Marie. My name is Veda. I'm from Santa Cruz, California, and I just love everything you do. I've taken a couple of classes from you on Shift Network, and you're amazing. And I'm calling with a question that has medical symptoms, but I know that there's a deeper emotional, spiritual, soul-based kind of cause, and I would love to get your insight. I have had off and on kind of stomach, digestive, fussy, third chakra area type of issues for a long time. I've seen all kinds of different health practitioners, regular doctors, alternative doctors, have done all kinds of different protocols, and yet issues persist. They're not issues I can't live with, but it does become fussy, and I just always wonder what's wrong. And lately I noticed my fear mind is, scared about what could be majorly wrong.
Yeah.
But in my heart and in my soul, I know that there's a different root cause than just something physical. So I would love your insight because I really want to show up and do that work. I'm ready for that work, whatever it is. So thank you so much for any insight you can help me with. Blessings to you.
Thank you, Veda. And I'm sorry for the digestive issues. What keeps the digestive, I don't think you have anything serious. You go to doctors, you get checkups. So I don't think there's anything terrible going on. There's a couple of things, but I first want to talk about the energetic reasons, as you said, behind it. Anything to do with digestion is directly related to a lack of self-love. So Crohn's disease, diverticulitis, ulcers, even really the inability to digest certain foods, which is, irritable bowel syndrome, all of those things. So you're going to have to fall in love with yourself, which is an emotion, not a thought. It's an emotion. It's an experience, emotional experience, like loving your dog, your children, your neighbors, the country, the woods, yoga, whatever it is that you love. You want to get into that same feeling in relationship to yourself. And you really want to be in that feeling every single day. even for just a little while, every single day. So that's what helps heal the mucosal lining of the stomach and the intestines, which usually is what creates pain for people. Their mucosal lining isn't stabilized. So it's not coating the stomach and the intestinal tract, particularly the small intestines in your case. And so you have more risk for problems and irritation and irritability, which is interesting. So the third chakra, governs the liver, pancreas, gallbladder, spleen, stomach, small intestines. And the third layer of the field, which is its best buddy, is the mental plane and has a lot to do with thoughts. So many people who have digestive issues have negative self-talk in their head. They're self-critical, and it can break down the mucosal lining of the intestinal tract. So what if you fell in love with yourself? What if you only said kind things to yourself? And let's see how your mucosal lining heals so that you can maintain the healing. Because I think you have moments where things feel better and then they go down. I would also have your hormones checked because estrogen helps build the mucosal lining of the intestinal tract. So that's what I would do. Great question. Thank you.
Hi Marie, this is Bryah from South Australia. I'm calling today on behalf of my mum Tina. So a few years ago, mum was diagnosed with COPD. However, she doesn't have any of the typical symptoms of someone with COPD. She has smoked for many, many years. However, I feel as though her breathing problems are related to allergies and possibly some inner work that she hasn't done over the years.
Yeah.
I would love to know what your intuitive perception is on this, and maybe what energetically she can do to work on to maybe heal some of these issues. And yeah, just maybe an overall energy reading within her body to see what maybe is a bit stagnant, where she could move some energy to get some positive flow going. Yeah, I think that's it. Thank you so much once again. I appreciate the time that you take for these messages and readings. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Thank you, Bryah, and I'm sorry for your mom's recent diagnosis. COPD, which is called chronic pulmonary obstructive disease, which I'm sure you know, Bryah. It's about, and it typically is created through smoking, but there could be other environmental factors, right, that could create the disease process. Charles is trying to open up the door right now. I locked him out on purpose, but he's going to find a way to get in here. It's pretty cute. So there are these lovely cells at the bottom of our lungs, and they're called alveoli. They're very cute. And their job is to actually help us take a breath. So, hi, Charles. Good job getting into the office. What happens is when, we take a breath, we have to breathe off CO2. So the alveoli collect the CO2. And when it reaches a certain level, we take a breath and breathe in O2, and then the alveoli let go of the CO2 so it can be expelled, right? So when people get the COPD, their alveoli can't let go of the CO2. And in fact, the alveoli become weak and they fill up with fluid. And so they lose eventually their drive to breathe. And I think what could be confusing, Bryah, but I think it's great to get a second or third opinion. Go see a naturopath. I think near infrared and red light therapy would be great. And then I'll talk about the energetic reasons why people get health issues in the chest cavity. So anything to do with breast tissue, the heart muscle, the lungs. People who are diagnosed with COPD, especially if it's fairly early on, they don't have a lot of symptoms. They look pretty fine. They may need oxygen once in a while, but they seem to do well. It's a slow process disease, typically, can take 10 years or 15 years for someone to, move through all the stages of that particular disease process. So if she was diagnosed correctly, that could be the reason why. Now, the reason why people energetically get disease processes in the chest is because they're not great receivers. Number one, the back of the heart chakra is the highest receptivity center in the physical body. So it's supposed to take in enormous amounts of energies, enormous amounts of subatomic particles are supposed to move into the back of the heart chakra to help us manifest, because the heart chakra is about universal love. And so it helps us with receiving love, health, wealth, joy. That's what it's supposed to do. And some people aren't great at receiving. A lot of people are closed off and controlling or contracting in terms of letting people get close. They won't allow themselves to be vulnerable. They may have past life experiences where they felt betrayed, so they don't trust and they don't let people in. So that is the reason why, if you could help your mom to receive, let people in, imagine energy moving into the back of her heart chakra, that would be fantastic. And now that she has a diagnosis, all the more reason for her to let people help her. Yeah. So I wish you the best of luck with all of that. Try some near infrared and red light therapy. That could be extremely helpful. And thank you everyone for listening to the show today. We are very close to the eclipse energy, so work on your psychic abilities, be open to receive information. I have classes coming up. I have a beautiful self-love class that's going to be on Mondays at 11:30. It's starting in April, I believe. Yes, in April. I also have a class on the Shift Network. It's a hybrid course, so there'll be 11 weeks of it, where 7 weeks are recorded teachings, and then 4 weeks I will come on and do an hour of readings for the participants. You can find all of this information on my website at energyintuitive.com or social media. You can click on the class and sign up. Regarding the hybrid class for the Shift Network, on the 13th, they're offering a free course where I talk all about it. You can find that on my website too. And then in May, I'm going to start a class about translating intuition, translating it, how to do it. How do you translate your intuition? And that will be in the evening, I believe on a Tuesday, starting in May. So just go to energyintuitive.com and find out all about my classes. And I think we have some Reiki openings available. I'm teaching that in May in person in just outside of Seattle in Washington State. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.